Hello. Can you hear me okay? So, I'm gonna wait a couple minutes and get my screen together while I wait for some people to come in. But I'm gonna go over this case of this girl, Ciera Breland Locklear. She's missing right now, and her husband is a person of interest. So, I've been planning to go live a lot sooner, but my kid was in Disney, and then we had some ice storms, so it took some time. Let me get my screen on. No. I think I like that one better. It's my lizard. Give me 1 second. Just figure it out. All right. So this right here, this is Ciera Breland. She's a missing person from Indiana, Carmel, Indiana. She's originally from Georgia, but her and her husband moved to Indiana because she took a new job at I have notifications popping up. A new job at a law firm in Indiana, and her and her husband were in Georgia visiting family, and he also had a court date. So I think maybe they were down there to attend his court date. Here's another picture of her, and then here's a picture of her, and that's her husband. He looks kind of scary there, but he doesn't. I wish I got other pictures. Maybe I'll find other pictures in the articles I have to share, but this. So, in a nutshell, let me go over. I'll leave that up. So she's 31 years old. She's a lawyer. Her last known sighting was at 7:17, I believe, p.m. at Xavier's mom's house on February 24th. So Xavier, her husband, has now been named as a person of interest by the police, and he was arrested on March 1st on unrelated charges. So he was actually arrested for aggravated stalking charges related to his ex-girlfriend and failure to appear in court. Ciera was supposed to be his lawyer, I'm pretty sure, but she was kind of like in a hard spot because she's not a family law practitioner. I'll go over a little timeline and then I'll share some more details about it. But Ciera, so February 19th, Ciera and Xavier, they're in Georgia, possibly traveling there to attend court for Xavier about stalking charges pertaining to his ex. Ciera visits with her family in Cleveland, Georgia. She talks to them about moving back home and leaving Xavier. She spends the night in Cleveland with her family. And then on the February 20th, this is the last time Ciera is seen by her family. And Ciera, Xavier, and their baby travel back to Johns Creek, Georgia, to Xavier's mother's house. On February 22nd, one of Ciera's cousins reaches out to her. I guess her and her cousin are pretty close. And she gets no response, which they say is very uncharacteristic of her. On February 23rd, that's Xavier's arraignment for aggravated stalking charges, and he ends up being a no-show. And then on February 24th, a bench warrant is issued for Xavier's arrest. And this is the last time she was seen at Xavier's mom's house on a CCTV. And then I guess that day they allegedly drive home to Carmel, Indiana. And then on February 25th, Ciera allegedly leaves her home in a t-shirt and shorts in Indiana, which doesn't make sense to me. But he claims she left her home in a t-shirt and shorts to go to CVS and never returns. And then on February 26th, Xavier files a police report. On March 7th, or not March 1st, sorry, the one looked like a 7. Xavier's arrested for failure to appear, violation of a family violence order, and aggravated stalking. So, I am in like the Facebook group. I believe that her so ex sister-in-law runs her. She's Ciera's the aunt to this woman's nieces and nephews, and she runs a Facebook group. And according to them in the group, on March 1st, Xavier's mom had flown to Indiana, and they were together at like the family records place, trying to get a hold of family records. Hey, Kane, how are you? So they were at the family records place trying to get a hold of these records, which makes me wonder. I'm not sure if they can or not, but it makes me wonder if they were like if he was trying to give custody. So they have a 5-month-old baby together, and it's very uncharacteristic of her to just leave her baby and not return. And it makes me wonder if he had done something to her and her mom came up, or his mom came up, and they went to this records place to see if they could transfer the records or like custody over to her or something. But while they were at the records place, that's where he was arrested by police. So I've also found out that law enforcement informed the family that they have no evidence that she made it back to Indiana. So he made it back, their son made it back, and their dog. But they have no evidence that like she actually made it back there. So they believe that maybe something. Thanks, Kane. They believe that something may have happened in Georgia. So Xavier's ex actually shared a video with the news station that shows him in her apartment. So apparently he would just like show up unannounced to his ex's house that he has kids with and just come in, and he made lots of threats to her. She had recordings of the threats. I think they might be in this article that I have, but I heard them, and basically over the phone he told her that he's going to F her shit up, and kids will be going to the cemetery to visit your ASFs. He said, I don't make threats, I deliver. She ended up getting a PPO against him, and then the next day he just showed up unannounced to her apartment. So let me show the video. But basically, I'm not sure of the date when this happened, but this is the day after she got a PPO out against him, and him and Ciera show up to her apartment. Now Ciera's a lawyer, so like I think she's in a hard spot, honestly, but so he looks like he's filming in the house, but it really doesn't look like there's. Hey, Cash at me outside. I love that name. So there's copies of the violence order. I have a copy of it, but it has watermark on it, so I'll read it out to you guys. But I'm not going to share it just because it has a watermark on it. Oh wait, let me turn. Oh my god, I didn't even realize there's sound on this one. I thought it was just the video.
Says in the Ring video, Xavier Breland Jr. and Ciera Locklear, who was his attorney and at some point became his wife, can be seen on December 17, 2020, inside the apartment of Brittany Lusk, who the day before had gotten a protective order against Breland from a Fulton County judge. The Lusk case is newly newsworthy now. Johns Creek Police Captain Todd Hood says investigators have not found anyone who has reported seeing Ciera Locklear Breland since sometime in late February.
Yeah, I'll be shocked too, honestly.
And Breland is now a person of interest in her missing person case.
Xavier filed a police report in Carmel, Indiana, claiming that he last saw Ciera walk away from the residence.
Eventually, Judge Alexander Manning issued a permanent family violence protective order in Brittany Lusk's case. suggesting Breland had violated the Family Violence Act, committing family violence, and had placed Lusk, her family, and children in reasonable fear for their safety. A document from Breland's side said he denied he violated any Family Violence Act and/or other offenses.
Come on, leave me alone. I'll up everything you know.
Our contact says this recording allegedly of Breland speaking to Ms. Lusk was played in a court hearing.
Kids, you going to the cemetery to see your
Seconds later,
I don't make threats. I live.
we obtained a January 2021 hearing transcript for one of several cases we found involving Breland. So the recording that we just heard where you stated that her kids will come see her in a cemetery, was that not you? Is that what you were saying? Answer, no, that is my voice on there. Question, okay, so you did make those statements in that threat. And answer, I didn't hear that threat. No, ma'am. Soon after, quote, I did say it. I mean, it is just another time that she has been antagonizing me throughout the years, which is clearly why she, A, started her recording. He seemed to suggest that when antagonized, he might say things out of character. I can't say for sure whether it is in reference to the incident captured on the ring video, but the transcript indicates Ms. Locklear said police came to the house on the 17th. Quote, Ms. Lusk insisted that we be arrested, which we were not because we had not broken any laws. Captain Hood says Breland's past may concern investigators, but the present task is finding Ciera.
We hope someone somewhere in the public has seen her or knows her whereabouts.
Now, Captain Hood says Johns Creek police are involved because the Brelands had recently visited.
Yeah, I don't. Oh God, that's loud. Yeah, I don't like. How do I? There we go. I don't like this guy at all. Let me see. So I'm gonna get the. I'll read the. Let me read the protective order for you guys. It's kind of. Anyways, there we go. So how do I? All right. Hopefully you guys can hear me because I am. You couldn't hear the video? Could you guys hear the video? I hit the share audio thing. Hopefully you could hear it. So I'm gonna read off the protective order. I'm not gonna share it because it has a watermark and I don't want to like get in trouble for it. But so the petitioner is his ex, and he's the respondent, and says the petitioner is a resident of so-and-so county in Georgia and is 18 years of age or older. So on or about December 9th, 2020, respondent committed to the following acts of family violence against the petitioner and or the minor children. Respondent would send petitioner threats saying, I'll take your kids, and sent a video of a woman missing, implying he'd do the same to her, saying he doesn't just threat, but he will deliver. On December 11th, respondent walked into petitioner's apartment without notifying petitioner of what time respondent was getting the kids and told petitioner, shut up, B. I can take my kids when I want to. Petitioner has a video of respondent telling the petitioner that respondent will bury petitioner in front of the kids from 2019 and February of 2019. February 2019, respondent tried to strangle petitioner. Every year they were together since 2010, respondent has tried choking and strangling petitioner on and off. Respondent has manipulated and lied to their children, telling them things that are incorrect. Respondent will just walk into petitioner's apartment unannounced and usually will not knock. Petitioner is afraid for her safety, and since respondent has said so many threats to petitioner just wants to get out of this situation and feel that petitioner is safe. Let me see if there's anything else in here. So Petitioner believes respondent has a criminal record and has committed the following crimes: breaking and entering, resisting arrest, breaking into people's house, and the police had to chase respondent. He has a warrant out for his arrest. All right, well, that's pretty... Oh, the video cut out? That's weird. Yeah, he's a total asshole. Excuse my language. So apparently Ciera also had like a burner phone that she kept in case of emergencies, and like in case something happened that she could contact her family. I don't know if he found that or not, but they haven't. So then in the Facebook group that I'm in, an anonymous person reached out to the aunt who's running the page, and she wanted to remain anonymous, obviously, but she said that she was stalked by Xavier in September of 2020 and that he put 2 trackers on her car. She said he also threatened to kill me, my kids, and I had to leave my home for 2 weeks due to the fear of him hurting them or myself. There's no doubt in my mind he had everything to do with her disappearance. When he got angry, it was like the devil staring you in the face. Yeah, I would have changed the locks too. It kind of looked like in the video that like white pole that was on the ground was like something to like use to lock the door. Did you ever see those things that you like put up against the door? It's scary though, because like this girl's a lawyer, and like, I mean, she had to have like, I mean, she was probably afraid to leave by the point that she found out that he was the way he was, but like, she was supposed to represent him in his stalking case, and they didn't show up. And she was seen after that, but I don't know, maybe she like didn't want to anymore and backed out, but she was supposed to represent him, but she wasn't a family law lawyer, so she was kind of in a difficult position. But so this also this lady said that in September of 2020, Xavier FaceTimed her from his father's home in Indiana, and he was in a rage pertaining to my whereabouts. And she said she was terrified, but she was thankful he was far away. So I guess she was in Georgia and he was visiting his dad in Indiana. She said he also texted my friend the same evening stating that he would bury them next to their dead mother. The next morning, after much thought, I figured he must have been tracking me. I found a tracker under my driver's side door. I didn't immediately remove it because I didn't want him to know I found it. However, I did remove it the next day. I tried moving on from him, but he wasn't having it. Over the next few days, I received multiple threats. Where was I? One was a phone call to my job, which I never told him where I worked, stating my friend and I were going to die. Also, multiple harassing phone FaceTime calls and text messages. During this time, my children and I left home for 2 weeks in fear of him hurting one of us. I went to the police station to file a report. After there, I stopped by home to grab some clothes. Shortly after I arrived, he texted me saying, "You went to the cops?" Laughing face. Lock up. BNTCH. I was terrified and immediately left my home. The police tried contacting him multiple times to leave me alone. They were not successful in reaching him. However, the harassment did cease. I was considering a restraining order and was told it had to be filed in Coweta County where he lived. I also wanted to press charges. However, I thought if I did, it would trigger him more. Letting it die down was the best decision. A couple months later, a tow truck driver knocked on her door after totaling her car with a tracker in his hand. She said that's how he knew my whereabouts after I removed the first one. That tracker was not on my car when I found the first one. She said I lived in fear for a while, always looking over my shoulder. When I heard he were married, I felt a sense of relief, but my heart fell for his wife. There were multiple times when he had lost control It even happened one day as his kids were in the truck. I was scared for them. So, yeah, I was thinking like maybe because she's a lawyer, she knew like the ins and outs of it. Like the ins and outs of the situation, and she thought like maybe if he didn't appear that he would go to jail, and that would be like an appropriate time for her to run. And then I thought like because she told her family while she was visiting there that she asked them if she could move back in with them, and then they left, and she never came back, and that was the last time they saw her. But I was thinking maybe in her mind, like if he went to jail, that would be like a good moment for her to leave. But then I thought maybe they did get back out together and maybe she just left. But if she did leave, I feel like he wouldn't have filed a police report right away. Like, I don't know. Something is off about the police report and saying that she left in shorts and a t shirt to go to CVS. So I personally, and I don't think she would have left her baby. Like, I don't think she would have left the baby with him alone. But a lot of people think that maybe something happened while she was in Georgia still at his mom's house. Yeah, well, she had that burner phone, so yeah, her family would know. You're right. You're right. Yeah. And I don't even know if he told the family. Thanks, No Tail. Um, yeah, it's a missing person named Ciera Breland. Um, she was a lawyer. She was 31. She just had a little baby with this guy, and I guess they were recently married. And she went missing, and her husband has like a history of stalking people and had a PPO against him by his ex. And she said like he strangled her several times, his ex. So, and there's recordings of him saying that he would bury her in the cemetery and stuff. His ex. So a lot of people think that he has something to do with it, and the police have named him a person of interest. So, but I think maybe his like mom knows what happened because they just said this that on March 1st, he was arrested, but he was arrested at the records place that him and his mother were at they were together at this records place. So this is what the comment says. I have been given permission to release this information. His mother flew to Indiana a couple days after he reported Ciera missing. They were found at the health department trying to receive vital records for the baby. That is where Xavier was arrested on March 1st. Yeah, no, she would definitely not walk to the store in 25-degree weather in shorts and a t-shirt. That's just insane. It makes me wonder if there's like a little bit of truth to it. Like maybe that's what she was wearing in Georgia because it would be like a little warmer there. But it just like maybe there's a little bit of hidden truth into it. Let me see if I can find the car that they were driving. I think they were driving. Ciera Breland. Oh, here's like a frequently asked question thing. Give me 1 second. So, here's an article. The investigation into the disappearance of a 31. There seems to be a lot of parents enabling their crazy criminal children these days. I know, right? I mean, like, I get that it's a hard situation because, you know, it's your kid and you want to, like, defend your kid. But at the same time, if she knew something happened and they were, like, quickly trying to get the kid's record so maybe he could transfer custody or something so he could like run, you know. I mean, that's what I would get out of it, because like if he hadn't transferred custody, then I don't know if he would even be able to do that. But if he was, then that, like, if he went on the run, wouldn't the mother have the rights to the kid and it wouldn't necessarily be taken by CPS? But I know right now the baby is with CPS and her family is having to jump through like a whole bunch of hoops to get him because they live in Indiana. So so she was last seen on the evening of February 24th at her mother-in-law's home in Johns Creek. She was visiting with her husband, 37-year-old Xavier, and the couple's 5-month-old son, Jackson. He said she was last seen around 10 p.m. walking to the store in Carmel, Indiana. Yeah, she was walking to the store. No way. Wearing shorts, a black top, a black top and a purple shorts. That just sounds weird. And purple shorts and temperatures that were in the mid to upper 20s. At the same time, he was taken into custody, investigators named Xavier as a person of interest in the disappearance. Trying to see if they have a picture of the car. Life claiming. So, despite the missing person report stating Ciera was headed to a store near the family's home, Ciera's family said investigators told them there was no surveillance video or store receipts to back up that claim. Right now, the last time Ciera was seen was at 7:17 p.m. on February 24th at the home along Highgate Manor Court in the Parsons Walk subdivision in Johns Creek. The address given by police is the same address family members have said is the home of Xavier's mom, pretty much. I think they seen her on CCTV, but it doesn't say how they know that was her last known location. I don't know. I know she was staying with her family in Cleveland, Georgia. I mean, I can look. Let me see. Johns Creek, is that what it's called? Johns Creek. Yeah. You know, let's just look up maps. How do I look up like directions on here? How far Creek from Atlanta? There we go. 48 miles from Atlanta. $37. That's not bad. That's pretty close. Investigators have said they've been scouring through both personal and business surveillance video in the neighborhood and surrounding areas to try and piece together a timeline. That was one of the reasons Friday's search targeted 2 neighborhoods along Medlock Bridge Road and why police have targeted 2 locations along Kimball Bridge Road using electronic signs. The goal, police said, was to help gather more information, especially video evidence. I mean, I would think that they would be able to have some kind of like CCTV trail from him driving back from there to Indiana. Like, he obviously had to stop through gas and go through tolls and stuff, so I'm sure they could figure out if she actually was with him or not. Oh, and they have been using cell phone data to help piece together their timeline. They gathered to canvass neighborhoods. Yeah, there's like a really big lake nearby that a lot of people are saying would be like the perfect place, like, to not be able to like find a body, because there's like a lake that's above sea level, and um it was created by like when they made this dam, and there's like a bunch of trees like still under the water, so it's like really hard to navigate. Oh, here we go. The location of her car is known, but it is more about where it was the week of February 21st that the family are most concerned about. The family has been asking anyone who saw the white 2017 Volkswagen Tiguan. That's weird. Wasn't Letitia Stauch's thing a Tiguan from, I don't know if it's the same year, but it was a white one with Georgia tag RMB 5869 during that time, to call police to tell them when and where it was seen. Also noteworthy, the vehicle has an FSU law school frame around the license plate. They have combed over the vehicle in the course of the investigation for evidence, and they released the vehicle. So I guess they didn't find anything in the vehicle. That's why I think she's still in Georgia, personally. Like, I don't think she ever went to Indiana. Yeah, he's in state care. And Ciera's parents, Nick and Kelly, have since been able to be with the infant and are working to bring the baby back home to Georgia. Is Xavier's mother cooperating with police? Investigators have not said if Ciera Breland's mother is fully cooperating with police or not. Over the weekend, Ciera's former sister-in-law, Lauren Locklear, on Facebook made a direct appeal to Ciera's mother-in-law, whose house the 31-year-old mother was last seen. Oh, if you guys want to join the group on Facebook, here it is. Where is Ciera? Where is Ciera, in parentheses, Locklear, Lockklair, Breland. Group by True Crime Replay? That's the one her sister-in-law, or her ex-sister-in-law, is like communicating with everyone. She wrote a plea to the let me see if I can find her plea to the mother-in-law. So she says on this one, I just want to go through some things again, the timeline, and some pertinent details so that maybe you guys can help me piece this together. Ciera and Xavier traveled to Georgia on the 19th. She actually stayed the night with my father-in-law, her father, Nicholas Locklear, in Cleveland, Georgia. My kids, her niece and nephew, were actually there visiting too. While she was there, she asked if she could move back in and said she was leaving Xavier for good. On Tuesday, Shelby, her very close cousin and best friend, reached out and called Ciera and didn't receive a call back. I need to talk to Shelby again to verify this, but I'm fairly certain that's correct. Ciera always called her back. That means by Tuesday, something had probably already happened. But I don't think that's true, because they said her cousin reached out to her the 22nd, and then somehow they were able to verify the last known sighting of her was the 24th. So, Ciera supposedly left that Wednesday to head back to Indiana. There's no evidence Ciera arrived back with him. We are certain of that, but I can't say how because I don't want to interfere with investigations. That means she is in Georgia somewhere. They were driving a 2017 white Volkswagen Tiguan. I've been trying to get the tag number from Nick, her father, but he's been so busy and devastated he keeps forgetting to send it. I'll continue to get it so locals can check their house cameras in Johns Creek at gas station. Let me see. She made a public plea. Oh, here we go. Here's a public plea to his mother. Actually, I'll screenshot it and share it. Wait 1 second. Let me pull it up real quick. No. Here we go. So she says, Rochelle, we know Ciera was seen last year at your home. As a mother myself, I understand your pain. I've tried putting myself in your shoes and imagining if it were my son, what would I do? It would be a temptation to protect him, but in life, people make their own choices and have to clean up their own messes. I'm hoping you find your humanity and consider what you'd do if it were your daughter. If Xavier stays behind bars, you'll be able to still hear his voice, his laugh. He will still be able to visit family, even though his life will change. These will be things Ciera's family cannot do. These will be things Ciera cannot do. Imagine if it was your baby girl or your sister or your mother out there, just out there somewhere, without you being able to properly lay them to rest. I held her mother yesterday while she sobbed, wondering the worst possible scenarios of what's happening to her baby girl as she's laying there. This is a mother's worst nightmare, and there's no way you can even fathom this kind of heartbreak and pain unless you've experienced it. Please come forward with any information you have. We don't care if you remain anonymous. We just want to find her. I can actually share the link to that if anybody wants it. Like to the group. Let me see. But yeah, I don't think she's ever made it, but here it is. There's a group if anyone wants to join it. But what other notes? Has anyone been keeping up with this Summer Wells Jose stuff? I have watched his whole 5-hour interview. I was thinking of doing like a separate live where I would talk about it, but I can talk about it now if anybody wants to. Let me see. So if anyone's following the Summer Wells case, apparently Jose said he was renting from Candace and that what's it called? Candace and Allie and all them thought he was cute, but he told them he didn't want any relationships. He said the house was disgusting, the dishes were piled up, roaches were everywhere, and they used 2 dressers to make a bathroom wall. Oh yeah, well I got all the important points for you, so I will go over the points real quick so you have an idea. So he's like the bathroom. They said they didn't have like bathroom walls, so they got these 2 really big dressers, and they like pushed them next to each other to like create, I guess, a wall to separate the rooms. So then Jose said he was sleeping. I guess he was sleeping in Summer's room because he said down. I don't know if anyone's seen the interview with Chris McDonough, but like, in his basement, they go down the basement under that like desk, and then off to the left is Don and Candace's bed, and then on the right was this like little looking bunk bed thing in like an empty cement room. There was like toys down there, but he said that was their playroom. But he slept in Summer's room. He said there's no steps. There's like, it was like, how can I explain it? There was like a bar and then a hole in the ground. And I don't know if there were like steps or if it was like a ladder, but you have to go down in there. And he said that they had a couch in front of the door in the basement, so that the kids couldn't get out. So like, I don't know if that was still there when Summer went missing, but they said that she may have went out that door or whatever. And apparently Don and Candace's mattresses were on top of cinder blocks. And the kids went in and out frequently. They would watch movies from the basement and hang out like on that couch area. He said all the toys were in the room that he slept in, and they would come down while Jose was sleeping sometimes and just start playing. And he said there were no, like, there was one internal door that I guess separated the kitchen from, like, the other places in the house, but other than that, they had no doors. In the front room was where Candace, Grandis, Summer, and one of her sons, they would sleep. There was 2 queen beds on the floor and a futon against the wall, which is where Grandis slept because of her knee injury. She couldn't get off the floor. She also occasionally slept in her camper. Oh, God, sorry. And then the other son would usually fall asleep on the couch in his parents' room watching cartoons. He said Don would get mad and scream and yell at the kids, and that he was a completely different man behind closed doors, and that he never went to church. And when he would go like buy food for the kids, he mainly bought like junk food for them, not like real food, like chips and donuts, stuff like that from Dollar General. What's that noise? He said the house didn't really have a lot of an organization, and that a lot of stuff was still in boxes, like almost as if like Candace was planning on moving and then decided not to. Don kept accusing Candace of sleeping with Jose while he was gone. Jose claims that he's 100% straight, but from the likes of it online, if the stuff that's posted is true, I don't think he is, but that's what he claims. He believes Candace may have been telling Don that to like ease. He believes Candace was telling Don that to like ease tensions. Candace and Don got into a physical fight over Jose, and apparently she would call him for money while he was gone, which would result in fights. So I guess they got in like a physical fight, and he threw like a bottle at Jose, and then him and Jose like squared up, and Candace and Grandis were standing in between them, and Don pushed Candace, and then Jose moved Grandis to get her out of the way, like because they were about to fight, and then Don left. Candace called the police, and Don was gone at this point, and then he pulls up while the police were there, and Candace told the police that Don had a gun in his car. So he ended up spending like 7 days in jail, and during that time, Jose was still there, and he went with Candace and Grandis to go fill out an order for protection. And if anyone's seen it, like she did file an order for protection at one point against Don, and then I guess like went against it. But he apparently, Candace would vent to him all the time, and he telling Candace Don will never love her and she needs to leave him. And Jose stayed 3 days after like the altercation, and then Grandis ended up taking him Grandis would drive him to work in the morning while he lived there and pick him up. And then after that altercation, she drove him all the way down to, I don't know if I wrote exactly where in South Carolina, but she drove him to Rock Hill, South Carolina to meet somebody that he met online and got into a relationship with. So I guess after that altercation, she drove him down there, and then he started living with somebody else. He claims that they had like a stand-up shower, and that Don would shower with Summer, and it made him like really uncomfortable because he said Don's like 6'2", and he just felt like the height of Don and the height of Summer, like where she would be standing, would be in like a bad position. And he said that he expressed to Candace and Don that it wasn't normal and it was disgusting, and got like really upset about it. Apparently Don had a lot of extramarital affairs and would boldly admit to it and then apologize for it. And he would expect Candace just to go back to normal. He would blame the alcohol. And he's apparently slept with this woman, a neighbor. I don't think it was Jody Sue, but that would be interesting. But it was a married woman who lived like a half a mile down the road, that Don apparently slept with. And apparently, like, I guess they were helping her, and like Candace was sleeping downstairs, and he had like sex with this woman upstairs. Uh, like while she was in the house. I guess they did like pills together or something. He said. He said Candace like really hated that woman, and every time she would drive by the house, she would say like, "Oh, I'll beat this woman with a bat if she didn't have her kids." And he claims that he never met Jody Sue, but there was these like two neighbors that lived up the way that like smoked meth on their porch and had sex on the lawn naked, like just out in the open. Sounds like the craziest area ever. Like, um, Don. So there was another guy named like Don Sherbert or something, and he wanted to live on the property in a camper. And supposedly his son is like a creep. And Jose said he never met him either. People were asking if he met him. I don't know who he is, but I just thought that was an interesting point to write down. Jose confirmed Summer was a daddy's girl when Don was around. Many times they had to go searching for Summer because she would wander off. Like the one time she ran into like the neighbor's yard with no shirt and no shoes and just pajama pants on. Apparently, Summer hated wearing clothes and she hated wearing shoes. She would often just wear pajama pants and take off. And one time, Don found her all the way at the end of the driveway, almost to the street, and he like spanked her for it. He said that he never he's seen Don get physical with the boys, but he um, never seen Don like spank Summer besides that one day where she was down by the driveway, and I guess like it scared him. I don't know how anyone had relations with either of them either. It's the most bizarre thing ever. That whole situation, like even that whole neighborhood just sounds like insane to me. Like people smoking meth on their porch and just having sex on the lawn. Like it's so bizarre. Um so basically said that was the only time he ever seen Don lay a hand on Summer. But he's seen him lay a hand on the boys all the time. He said he begged Candace to take the time that like Don was away, or he's begging, like he made like a public plea to Candace, saying like, Candace, like now that Don's in jail, take this time to break free from the abuse and go on your own. Um. Oh, he also said that Summer wandered off a lot, and that she was really smart, and she could like easily lock and unlock doors. So like he said she would, walk over to grandma's camper and like open and lock the door, unlock it, and go in. And he said like Candace would have never walked Summer from the camper to the house. She would have just told Summer like, go over yourself. You don't need anyone to like walk you over. Walk over there. He said she loved to play hide and seek, and she would often hide in the fridge or Grandis's camper in the bathroom. He also said like she would wake up really early before everyone else, and she would just like let herself outside and go on the swing and like, just do her own thing. He said Summer would be the first one there if you had like a boo-boo. She was very caring. She hated clothes. She loved to play in the dirt. He said the outfit in the truck was the nicest clothes he's ever seen on her. He said they would often fall asleep in the back of Grandis's truck. Like she would keep the back of the truck clean and safe for the kids because they would play back there. he said that they were very isolated and believed that they lived like a double life, and he felt like he was like a monkey wrench in the well-oiled machine, and that's why Don like didn't like it, because uh he said that like he almost made himself out to be like a was Miss Doubtfire, like that he was some like Miss Doubtfire for these kids, and they've never had anyone cook for them or clean for them, and uh that he would cook and clean, and they were just so shocked because he was like a lot different. And and then he told the story of Hunter got see Hunter got Summer like a kitten, and she loved the kitten, and she would carry this kitten with her everywhere she went. And one day he got mad at Summer, and he just picked up this kitten and threw it out the door to all the dogs, and the dogs just like tore the kitten up in like a million pieces and killed it. I should have gave a trigger warning before that, but like that's just so horrible. I can't imagine. But yeah, he said he was just mean. Like he would do things like that. And he also said that one night while they were drinking, him, Candace, and Hunter were all sitting there drinking, that they admitted to him that Hunter lost his virginity to Candace, which I kind of like believe it could have been possible, because I don't know if anyone's ever looked at Hunter's Facebook, but on his Facebook, he posts in a relationship on May 27th. And then on the same day, he changes his, like what's that picture called? Like the big one in the back of your profile. He changes that picture to one of him and Candace on the same day. And then Candace comments and is like, over and over again, asking him, like, who were you talking about? Oh, you're not in a relationship. It's with your hand. And then she said something like, I don't F my homies. And then he said, I'm not you. And then she said, no, you're Sherry. And they went on, like, had this little back and forth. And it was just odd, like, that she even said those things to him, in my opinion. But, like, she was talking to him. I know he was 17, but she was talking to him, like, really adult. And almost seemed, like, bothered that he said he was in a relationship. But he said that that he believes Allie may have, like, Allie's Hunter's mom, that, like, she might have, like, an inkling, but, like, she's probably freaking out now that he said it, because she would be, like, really upset. And he said that Allie was a really good friend, and she was nice, and one day she took them to Walmart and bought, like, $300 in food for them, and, like, she was just really good to them. Then he told another story where Don would make the boys, like, feed the dogs, and the one son, like, reached his hand into the, like, dog food bin, and when he pulled his hand out, there was, like, roaches all over his arm, like, with the scooper, and then they just, like, throw it outside. And they said the dogs ate, like 2 or 3 scoops of food, like, once a day, but they had, like, 13 dogs or something, so it's really not that much. He said that Jose admitted that he did have sexual relations with, Allie, but gross. I know. I was thinking the same thing. He said there was roaches, like, all over, and that they had dishes just, like, piled up that were there for, like, months. He said, like, it just looked like nobody ever did dishes, and they just, like, just threw stuff in there. He said they had, like, nothing for, like, organization. And then he said that Hunter's sister, True, don't know that I think he said that she slept with Don's son or stepson, and like the boys were watching through like a little hole in the wall. It was like the craziest stuff. I'm trying to think on what else. He said, he made himself out to be like their very own Mrs. Doubtfire, and he kind of like talked himself up a little bit, which I don't think Jose was as like fancy as he made himself out to be, but I think he lived there for like a month. And he said like he can't imagine anyone coming up and taking Summer unless it was like somebody who knew them. He said like there's yeah, it's insane. He said that like there's no way that a stranger would have been able to come up on the property without the dogs like tearing them apart. Like Candace would have to yell at them to like leave people alone because it like they would come after you if they didn't know you. And he said just like the terrain of there's just like no way that somebody could have. But he did say she wandered off a lot. So I mean I guess that could be a possibility. I don't know what to believe, but and then they asked him like people are like, if you knew that Hunter lost his virginity to her, like why would you not say anything? Like, and he said, well, yeah, like if that did happen, like they said, then Candace should be prosecuted for that to the like full extent of the law because he's underage. And then he also claimed that he was totally straight, but that YouTuber, what's his name, Benny, he posted a what's it called, a community tab thing, and saying that he found Jose on like a Shemale website. I don't know how they found him on this website, like out of all places. Maybe they have some kind of thing where they type like they knew his email address and they typed his email address in and it gave like a list of websites he was a part of, but they definitely had a picture, like a profile of him on this like Shemale site. And I mean he claims that he is, but I don't know. And he said like when him and Don had that fight, that Don threw like a bottle at him and it broke and it like got stuck inside his like tooth or something, and that's how like the big fight started. And I don't know if Don hurt Grandis or if Jose did, because Jose said that he moved Grandis like himself. He said he moved her carefully, but he said that Grandis was kind of like in front of him and he moved Grandis. And he said like Don wouldn't even have gotten in trouble if he didn't show, like he left and he showed back up when the cops were there. When he got there, Candace told him that he had a gun. But yeah, and then he told this other story about how Don. They asked him if Don was like a drug mule or whatever, like if he would deliver drugs, like back and forth between like Tennessee and Mexico, I guess. And he alluded to that like he was, and he said that like one time he got back from a job and he just like stayed at this drug house for like 2 weeks and spent all their money like doing all the money that he got doing drugs, and like Candace had to go get him at the house and literally like drag him back. It's like weird to me because I like assumed that he was there like a lot when Don wasn't there, but he had so many stories of when Don was there, so I don't know how long he lived there while Don was still there. But and he said like the dressers that they used to make the walls in the bathroom, I guess maybe the drawers were on the inside of the bathroom, so that's where like the kids would go and get their clothes for school. And he said that Candace like tried to keep up with like taking them to the doctors and doing all that stuff, but that it was like it was hard for her because she was a what do you call it? Like an abused sad woman. So but yeah, he said like that she was like an abused sad woman, and because she was like that she I guess she was depressed and like didn't take care of them as well as she liked to. I think that's all of the big things that I can remember. But yeah, that pretty much summed up all of the important points like that he talked about, or like the things that were important. He said that he tried to help Candace like clean and put her clothes away and stuff, but I don't really believe him. And apparently he knows them because he's friends with Hunter's biological dad's brother, and they drove down there together. And then money, I guess like him living there helped them with money because Don was gone, and Candace would call him for money while he was in Utah, because he was in Utah with the oldest kid, and then she had the three younger ones. And she would call for money, and they would get in like huge arguments before he would finally agree to send her stuff. But he basically said that Don was really crappy to her, and that Don was very controlling. That like he would feel for Candace, and that he really wanted her to get out of the situation, and that like she would do better on her own, and that like now that he's in jail, she should take the time to like break free of him. And he said he got in like a big fight with Don over Summer showering with him. Like he said like he told him that he thought it was really disgusting, and like they got in a big argument over it. I don't know how true that is too, but yeah. But I am going to close this up because I have to start getting ready to pick my kid up at school. I'm going to I'm still going to cover the case of the West Memphis 3, but I've been reading through like the court transcripts and stuff, and I kind of want to like finish it, so I do my due diligence before I talk about it because there's so much evidence. But I don't know if that'll be what I'm going live next about, or if there's a Morphew update. I'll probably do a Morphew update next because there's some things that came out before the trial, or maybe I'll just do like a whole trial recap. But I'm gonna close this down because I gotta go pick my kid up from school. But thank you all for coming. I will talk to you later. You're welcome. I figured I'd do a quick update because it's like a 5-hour interview, and it took me like 3 days to listen to it because I just can't sit through like 5 hours of interviewing, especially how it was. Yes, Morphew. Morphew's my favorite. But yeah, I figured I'll update everyone on that real quick to save from the 5-hour live. But yeah, probably maybe Friday night or like Thursday. I could do like Thursday afternoon and maybe like Friday night or something like that. All right, bye everyone. Thank you for coming. See ya.